They say, y'all ready? Hot tag, cold takes, we tag in. The world shakes from the couch to the cage. Two friends about to change the game. Hot tag, cold takes, whoa. Every rant, every joke, shock the world with the madness from our mouths. Press play, let the countdown start now.
Say his name and they appear. I believe in Nick and... Wait a minute. Hold on. You're not James.
Nick.
What? No.
It's me. It's me. It's me. Ah! I knew I'd get you.
James. We believe in hot tags called dicks. Let's go.
Yes. Oh my God. After all this time, we're finally here, Nick.
We are live and in living color.
Can you believe it? We've even got mugs.
Mug 1, mug 2 over. Oh, man, got blurred there. Nearly weren't allowed to show it. There we are. Mugs are here, folks. Mugs are
when
here.
You said mug 1, mug 2. I thought you were going to make a joke about me and you. Maybe you did.
Maybe that's a
real thing. Yeah. Well, everybody, listen, if you're watching, you may if you're listening only, rather, I suppose you may be confused about what we were talking about. I was in disguise. You can head over to our YouTube if you want to see what I mean by disguise. And we had some live music to open our first ever show. I don't think that'll ever be topped. Even if we get the man Hendry himself on the show, Nick, I think you just went in straight into Hot Tags Cold Takes, #1 on the charts there.
Oh, easily. Like, that'll never be topped. Never potentially seen again either. Never.
I didn't know that you were literally that talented at playing the guitar.
Neither did I. I mean, I just thought that was some sort of cardboard box of strings on it, but there we are.
You just picked it up and had a go at it, man.
Smashed it immediately. Jeff Jarrett, eat your heart out.
Here, listen. If it was really Jeff Jarrett, you'd have absolutely cleaned your laptop out right now with that guitar. And game over. You'd have put yourself over. I'd be landing a mess right now. So that's the Jeff Jarrett style. Go over as early as possible. We're here, guys. Everybody, if you're listening, thank you very much for listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, hello. We've a lot to get through. We've been waiting, Nick. I think we've had this one. We've been waiting for this moment, this specific moment now for nearly 6 weeks now, I think.
Yeah, it's been in the pipeline for a while. We've been slowly posting stuff on all our social media accounts: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Wherever you're there at, we're there. You know, whatever you're on, we're on it.
I'll get in early and say, if you can give us a like, a comment, a review, preferably a 5-star review if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Even if you don't love the show and want to listen every week, it's one click of a button. It would really, really help us just to get ourselves started. So if you do that, thank you very much. Also, I want to talk to future fans. So I've listened to podcasts and then I'll listen to like a new series and I'll go back and listen to old episodes when the new series I'm listening to is run out. So if you are a future listener coming back to listen to where it all started, hopefully we're a little bit better in the future than we are now. Hopefully it's a little bit better.
In all aspects of this right now.
Literally every single aspect. I might even literally be fully bald by then. Me and my wife have been doing bald filters, so we might even have to change the logo, Nick, by the time that a future person comes to watch this, because I might be fully bald. I'm on my way there anyway. But
that's neither here nor there, James.
It's neither. No, I'm still beautiful. Is what you
meant. Like your hair is neither here nor there.
That's brutal, man. That's brutal.
True. We love each other, really, folks.
Yeah, it's true though. He's not wrong. Nick, we're here, so we've got a lot of stuff planned. I want to just give everybody a little bit of an idea. We're going to talk seriously about some wrestling stuff. We're going to joke and take the mickey about wrestling stuff. We want to add in some comedy, so there's going to be some comedy segments. It'll not be the same every week. It'll change every now and then. We've got a couple coming up today just to have a bit of a banter with. So hopefully there's something in this show for everybody who listens to it. And I'm just going to set the stage. Nick is head of creative, so if I'm worried about getting over, he's the one I'll be speaking to in the office if he's not put me in the main event. And if creative's not good enough and ticket sales aren't good, like WrestleMania's ticket sales aren't, that's all down to you, Nick, the game, whatever you want to be.
Whenever I'm in that office and I'm there and it's dark and it's scary and sometimes there's some weird smells, you don't know what you're gonna face. And
that's just your attitude.
It is, countless times I'm told to change it, but do I change? No. Just like, people we can probably say like Vince McMahon, God damn it. Like, you don't change, you run with it and you see what happens. I mean, all I have is one main eventer, and as you can see here, folks, or if you're
How
listening,
many?
it's the guy here, and whether or not he can carry this it's on
You're
him,
talking about
really, at the
yourself,
end of the
obviously,
day.
because you're clearly putting yourself over.
I am. I'm putting myself over.
Yeah, I
It's always
thought
going
that.
to be me. Sledgehammer's already in that emergency break glass case that we can pull out at any time. Whenever I'm like, nope.
You remember, like 10 years ago, we used to have that joke where we pretended Triple H and Stephanie McMahon had their own TV show at home with the Helmsleys, and Triple H he would have the servants coming in. Every time they didn't serve him right, he'd break a shovel out of glass. He'd bury.
There'd be random guests would appear weekly, like Ric Flair would turn up sometimes.
Turn up on this show sometimes, Nick. You never know.
You never know. I mean, we did have John Cena the other day for an interview, and if you didn't
I
catch
can't
that,
believe.
folks,
Get onto the YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. There's a live interview. Nick interviewed John Cena.
I did.
I'm going to be honest with you, it was beautiful. I thought it was absolutely stunning. Some of the things that he said were just wow.
And what I will say is he did not tap out like a little bitch. He put us over. He didn't tap out like a little bitch. There was there was dignity there. He put us over. He did the honourable thing. Hot tags, cold takes. We raise a cup. Oh, there we go. We raise our cups to you, John.
Thank you, John. Not Ron. John Cena, of course. So, Nick, should we talk about wrestling maybe for a little bit?
We probably should, and again, we've done enough thanking people there, I suppose, and coming on this journey with us. And as you know, that he's James, I'm Nick, or whoever you want to call us. So, we might have different names by the end of this episode.
Robert.
Keith.
Can we do that thing like in WWE Unreal? I am Nick. My stage name is Keith, but I also go by Robert. I don't know.
Well, Nick and James aren't even our real names. It's actually James and Nick.
James. you're me, and I'm you.
Exactly.
Wow. My wife is going to get a real shock later on when I remind her of that.
But yes, let's get the show on the road, give the people what they want, and let's really put the hot tags, cold takes stamp on it.
I have some stuff that I want to talk about a little bit later in the show, and we'll save that for the second half of the show. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because in the ears of the listener, listen to this. We are literally, if you listen to this on day of release, 17th of February, you're 4 or 5 days out from Elimination Chamber. So we're miles away from the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is a good starting point. Obviously, we know who won, and we know where we got there. Between then and here, Nick, in the build-up to Elimination Chamber, what are you thinking? Are we on path to a successful WrestleMania now that the road to WrestleMania has started?
Okay, it's hard to know because you've got all these bright stars at the moment, and boys are trying to make names for themselves, but then you still have that one name that's always in the middle of it all, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre. It feels like we're not going to be able to let go of that. Why? I don't know.
I was puzzled to put the belt on him.
Drew McIntyre, for me, as you know, I'm not a big fan, and as the listeners will develop, probably a hatred for me the more I go on about Drew McIntyre. He's not my cup of tea. He's not for me. Don't get the appeal whatsoever. Putting the belt on him is like putting the belt on, I don't know, an elephant or something. I don't know.
I don't mind it, and I don't hate Drew McIntyre quite as much as you do. I'm not saying he's massively over for me. I don't necessarily mind him winning the title because of the storyline they're trying to tell. I'm puzzled that they've done it now because, in my opinion, Drew and Cody is not a marquee main event for WrestleMania.
No, and what makes it worse for me is the fact that Drew doesn't seem to let go of Cody. Even though Drew's the champion, he's got this mad obsession with Cody that he doesn't really need to be having. Like, why would you be obsessed with someone if you're the champion? You should only be obsessed with yourself for the belt, or what's going for you. Not little Raheem there. Sorry, I was going to say big Raheem.
Big Raheem, hold on.
Raheem for no reason.
So Big Raheem, he's called it out. He's on there. Maybe that's why Drew's after. Maybe he's seen him in the shower and he'll be jealous.
Wants to cut a tip off him or something?
Oh yeah, well possibly that big sword. Maybe the big sword is compensating for something, but less about what's in that area of Less about that, I think. Less about that, I think. Yeah.
We're not that type of show, folks. So we're
No,
gonna sort of
that's not where
brush
we're
over
going with
that.
this. We're not going there with this one. I think that is going to be the B main event this year. I think that's going to be night one. Obviously, if Cody doesn't win the elimination chamber this Saturday, I'll be incredibly shocked. I think he wins the elimination chamber this week. Goes on, obviously, to challenge Drew. I don't know, contingency ideas. Does Drew cost him the chamber at the end, and then they do some shenanigans between now and WrestleMania to create a triple threat? You know, is there something else in there? Or
Well,
I have an idea, but I'll listen to you first.
yeah, well, just to sort of cut you off there and interfere, I suppose we'll say, hit you in the back of the head with a chair. I think we're going to get, like you're touching on a triple threat there. I think we'll have a triple threat at WrestleMania. I think it'll be Drew, Cody, and Jacob Fatu is where I would like to see it going. I think those three men in the ring together would, it'd be lethal. It'd be dynamite. And me again, if I was booking it, Jacob Fatu goes over. He takes the belt to Mania. Screw Cody, screw Drew. Give it to Fatu and let the man just run wild.
I have an alternate theory, and we can see who got this one right. And we will, folks. We'll talk more about WrestleMania in our next show, so we'll cut back to the build in a wee minute. But my feeling, and I see this is relevant because it's my feeling, and this is leading into Elimination Chamber this Saturday, right? My feeling is Drew somehow cost Cody the win. I'm not sure if Gunther's ending up in it. There's still 3 people to be confirmed to enter the Elimination Chamber. I could see a Cody, Gunther, Drew WrestleMania main event where they can afford for Cody or Drew to beat each other so Gunther doesn't get beat, so you protect him, but you put him in the top spot. And then either Cody or Drew wins it at WrestleMania. That's also an alternative, but I can see the Fatu side as well because they're building that story.
I would give Gunther like another retirement go. So I would go down the whole, you've got obviously the legend killer and whatever, and you've got retirement killer or whatever, but sending him to the home. I would give Randy Orton to
I need to just stop a minute. I need to go back for a wee second here. I just had an image. Why has there not been right? Why has there not been? They're trying to keep them serious, right? Imagine this: Monday Night Raw. Gunther has went to a local retirement home, or
those new slacks,
and he's just putting them all to sleep. And the start of the show, he goes in, locks a sleeper on Mavis, right? And then they come back so often, and there's just more of them sleeping.
Where's Mae Young?
And he's just laughing his head off. Sorry, that's completely unserious, but I just had to go there. I'm sorry about
that. Completely off topic there at all in all.
Sorry, I came in. I couldn't not say it.
But no, Gunther, I would have him and Randy Orton go at it. And if it's time for Randy to hang it up, then could you imagine like the hate already? Gunther, I mean, Gunther already is probably the most hated man in wrestling. Like where I work, he was in there the other day, like 100%. Look, like I'm not name drop or I'm working or anything, I'll get in bother, but but he was in the shop the other day. Like a lot of people say it wasn't him. I'm telling you, it was him. It wasn't. But I mean,
was it someone just with an Austrian accent, perhaps?
Close enough.
All right, basically the same thing.
Keep it safe. But I mean, he's the most hated man in wrestling, the most hated man in the world. I mean, I was fuming whenever he beat Cena. I was even more fuming whenever he beat AJ Styles because AJ was my boy whenever I was watching TNA all them years ago, and Gunther took that away from me, and he also took John Cena away from everyone else. So I mean, if we had a button to describe him, we wouldn't be allowed to use it.
No. We wouldn't, or a gesture or a hint in some way. We could just leave that to our listeners' imaginations, I think, on this occasion. But he's doing a good job doing what he needs to do in his position to get the heat. I don't think AJ's necessarily done. I think we'll see him again. I'd seen a news story, I want to say maybe a week ago, where they hadn't agreed a new contract for Styles and they went ahead with the retirement thing. But rumors are there's apparently still some conversations between WWE and AJ Styles about something. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if he rocked up in TNA or done something maybe a little bit later or something short. I think he's the type of guy who loves the business so much that he'll to just make a retirement permanent, and we put the gloves back on. That was his way of saying, look, I'm retiring, but he said it himself. Actually, never say never. So we can hold on hope that he can get a bit of AJ Styles.
Yeah, well, he walks about there giving it the whole "you don't want none," but we do want it all, AJ.
We
We want it all. So
absolutely,
if
I
you're
can
listening,
assure you, Alan, Alan,
Alan, Alan, Alan, Alan.
Alan, we want more.
That's for our UK listeners. There, that one.
It is a wee bit. He is a soccer mom though, so let's be real about that. But that's okay. That's fine. We appreciate that. I think from him.
New,
Um,
new character development.
absolutely. Can I move? I don't know. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the female side of the
Anyway,
roster. Yeah, we'll get on to that. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the female side of the roster, but I do want to give you props. Okay, you probably know where I'm going
okay,
here. I want to give the
okay.
listeners the reason that I'm going here. Myself and Nick began communicating in a wrestling forum probably 10, maybe 11 years ago. We used to fantasy book. We used to just have a laugh, have a joke, which is why we're sitting here today. And one thing, anytime that we went through any type of fantasy booking sort of scenario, Nick would always call up someone to his roster that was an independent wrestler. And he introduced me to this guy, and I was like, wow. And now it has come to fruition. Nick is the predictor. Joe Hendry. You were a big Joe Hendry mark. You were a mark
I
for
was,
Hendry
I
10,
was.
maybe 11 years ago. He's now the NXT champion. He's been on SmackDown. He was Randy Orton's WrestleMania opponent last year. Nick,
Yeah.
tell me about Joe Hendry.
Well, he went from the local hero to the prestigious one to, saying his name and he appears on your TV screens on WWE. I mean, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. Like, I remember seeing him way back in the Europa Hotel in Belfast, and like you're saying there, easily about 10 years ago. And he was just putting on a match with, I can't even remember who it would have been at the time, just one of the local guys from Belfast. And it was a title match. All Ulster Championship was the title he was fighting for. And of course, Joe won it. It was never in doubt. And I would have been one of the first up on them seats, going nuts about Joe Hendry winning the title. But the man had it all. And like you're saying about the fantasy booking and stuff, like if there was ever a guy that I wanted to see in WWE and make it big, it was Joe Hendry because he had the look, he had the gimmick, he had everything that you would imagine. Like, okay, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, and he doesn't look the most muscular or whatever, but he's got character, he's got charisma, personality. I mean, and he can wrestle. I mean, what more do you want?
And I think he took a patient route. He's 37 years old now, right? So if this was the early 90s, you'd be thinking he's close to the end of his career. But nowadays, obviously, that's different. He's 37 years old now. He's a veteran without being a veteran on the top stage, I suppose you could say. What I'll say for him is he didn't go down the AEW route when it probably would have been easy for him because back at the start, AEW were picking up any sort of indie star that had a bit of traction. The thing about Joe Hendry, if he had went to the likes of an AEW, is, and your listeners, viewers, you're going to get a bit of a theme in this show when we talk about that promotion as we go forward. Okay, we are maybe potentially a little bit biased, and I don't care. If you have hate, like and subscribe, and tell us you have hate, and we'll read it, and we'll not care very much.
Slobber at us anyway. We'll slobber back.
Fine. Look, you neckbeard marks that don't like Canadian destroyers every 7 minutes in a match. Joe Hendry would never have made it if he had went to AEW because AEW doesn't care about an engaging character unless they can put their hands in their pocket and stand silently in the middle of the ring, or they can run about with Sting, right? They don't care about that. They just care whether you can do 52 flips.
A pop at the moment.
Correct. It's, whereas he went to TNA and he built the stock, WWE purchased TNA and they saw there's someone in that organization that actually has a bit of character, a bit of following, and something we can get behind. And look, he's getting it in NXT, even when they give him a wee sort of look at SmackDown. I think that's deliberate. I don't think that was a demotion putting him back down. That was almost getting him a wee bit more visibility so they can put the NXT title on him. I think that was very sensible by them. I wouldn't be surprised if he's involved. And he will. He'll probably defend the NXT title at some way, shape, or form around the NXT or not around NXT, around WrestleMania period, where that's a pre-show or early in the card. So I think he's doing great. I personally, he's over with me, and I'm going to actually segue into a point here, Nick. And for anyone who's not listening, please go on our socials and listen to our theme tune. You've heard it at the start of the show, I hope. It's pretty cool. It was our man Nick here who got that created for us. Thank you very much, sir. We're going to release an album. He sent me so many different songs on WhatsApp. And because my wife will watch it and she will buy into a wrestler based on their theme tune, right? And a theme tune I think is big because it engages the guys from the start. I don't know what your opinion is on what I'm about to say. I'm about to say something, so we're either going to argue or not here. The only thing that's got Jey Uso over is his entrance music.
1,000,000%, and the fact that he just
He
shouts
agrees.
yeet.
There's
We're
nothing
we're
else
not.
about him.
This isn't going to be an argument between the two of us, unfortunately. But if you're looking for an argument, it probably will come eventually. By the end of this episode, potentially. But when it comes to Jey Uso, man is as mid as you could go. I mean,
So mid.
4 words. I don't know, 4 words, 4 letters. Yeah, some early Spanish already.
Oh, arriba.
one word, 4 letters. Can I say it? No, probably not.
No.
But that's literally what. But that's literally what's got him over, the whole bop in the hands, and the bop in the hands now for those
That's
that
it.
can't see or hear or whatever, blind,
See,
deaf.
I challenge any of our listeners, right, to go and watch the episode, any match that he has, not a tag team match, because tag team division is where him and Jimmy should be. That's their area. And I'm fine for them being tag team champions. They're probably that's where they need to be. Any singles match, it's pop, 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 run it back, pop, pop, pop. Then the match starts. He can't move because he's blown out his arse, and the crowd sits in their hands for 15 minutes. That's
But
it.
I mean,
What's his title win? Sorry, against Gunther. Literally, no one gave a toss when he won. It was like, oh, okay. What's the next match?
I mean, you look at Royal Rumble. He made the Royal Rumble all about himself. So he did. I mean, he spent like his entrance and then another entrance essentially, just yeeting and bopping about. Like,
sorry, I know we didn't want to linger on Royal Rumble. You just reminded me of something. Who produced that moment when Brock Lesnar's elimination came during Jey Uso's entrance? That was just, sorry, I had to mention that. That was just fumble. But probably blame LA Knight for that. Sorry, carry on.
Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble, but no, it's an easy one for me here, James, that I will agree with you that he's not my cup of tea. He's very mid. He's definitely not going to be one for the future. I don't see him winning anything big anytime soon. Again, ever.
No, I
really don't.
Yeah, that title took a nosedive. Yeah. Well, that title took a nosedive when he had it around his waist, I think. So.
Yeah, there's no prestige to it whatsoever.
No, that's pretty much it. Okay, we should probably talk about. I have two more things to talk about. Then we'll get into. We'll cover a couple of sponsors, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. Now, 2 things. Thing number 1, the hottest female storyline at the minute, AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Would you agree?
I would say so. I mean, do you even bother looking at the Bella return thing? I mean, is that even the Bella return?
Yeah, exactly.
Bella return. Daniel Bryan's been training Brie the Cheese for a long time now.
Come on, Cheese.
He's been training her because her last performance in the ring wasn't great, and that's not how she wanted to be remembered. So Mr. Bryan Danielson wanted. Was
that when he was in it? Was that when he was in New Japan, perhaps, Nick?
It was when he was floating about somewhere with all the friends that he has from them flippy floppy shows, Yeah. But yes, I mean, it's one of them stories that you just look at and you go, okay, they're cash grabbing one more time, one more push, one more run, maybe at a tag title as the Bella Twins or whatever. But yeah, it don't really care for it. I do would say, Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. You've been a massive AJ Lee fan for many years.
Yeah, she was popular with me back when she was first in it, so I think that always remains. Becky Lynch is always a popular. I think she's very good. So I think you've got a good storyline there. They put on a half decent promo last week on Raw, so I mean it wasn't the worst thing we've seen.
I'm gonna throw my hands up here. Blurred hands. I'm not a Becky Lynch fan here, James.
She is divisive. Look, I think she's good, but sometimes I struggle to listen to her cutting a promo. Sometimes
her theme song's better than her.
Well, look, do you go back to the fact that a theme song is an important part of a wrestler's presentation, regardless of what?
Remember that, folks. Theme song, all about the theme song.
Listen to our theme song. Ours is good. That's it. Everything else is poor. The theme song is good. Everything else is
it's all about cheap Cheap pops here. That's all it
Cheap
is.
pops, yeah. That's the best we can manage. Yeah, look, I can see why you're thinking that way. So yeah, I can see that. But I can see, to your point about the Bella Twins, I can see Rhea and Io Sky having a fall apart or something like to that effect, and then the Bellas
If
win the titles.
if you want to talk about that future of that division, I'd probably say Sol Ruka. I'd probably say she's
She
up
seems to be
there
quite
with a.
exciting. Yeah,
Mhm.
that soul catch in the Royal Rumble was superb off the middle, off the rope.
Is it Soul Catcher or Soul Snatcher?
Here, listen, it's not that over. It's not that over for me just yet for me to remember the name of that. Probably should. On a wrestling podcast, don't know the name of
Yeah,
the
the
moves.
finishing moves.
You're probably right. You're probably correcting me there. You're being too polite. Okay, very good. The last thing I'll make mention of before we move on is the throwaway feud or the throwaway main event for Finn Balor. They're giving him this little push so that Punk has something to do in the way to WrestleMania. Obviously, surely Balor's not winning the title at Elimination Chamber.
Surely not. I mean, surely it's destined for him and Roman. I mean, main event WrestleMania night two.
Night
That's where the
two, yeah.
money's at. Yeah, that's where the money is.
And I actually think if
Um,
they even tried to force a triple threat down your throat, it weakens it. I think it has to be the one-on-one.
oh, it definitely does because either way, then you start looking at it and going, Finn's going to take the fall. On like
He's getting
Roman.
pinned. Yeah.
Yeah, Roman's too big and popular. Punk's that same level. They're two big stars. You want to keep them both strong. You pin Finn. No disrespect to Finn. I saw that man too many minutes ago in a little town hall in Newton Hards.
Yep, I saw Prince David. I
Yeah.
saw that. I wasn't there, but I saw it.
So
Saw a
you can
poster.
you can Google Newton Hards, folks, but I'd probably advise you not doing that.
Yeah, don't
Um,
stay long, man. It's problematic if you do. Yeah, I think you're right. My feeling is if they go to night two, I can see probably Roman beating Punk if it's a one-on-one.
well, I disagree. I think they'll let Punk run with it a wee bit more. I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
I
don't
think
think there's a lose in that scenario.
no. I think in terms of popularity and money and income and whatever you want to go down into, I don't. Would people be more pissed if Roman won? I think so. Um, but then again, it's CM Punk, and his it's mixed for Punk anyway, as always, and it always will be. The part of me thinks if Roman won, people would be annoyed again because it's like, okay, he's going to have like another mad 20-year title reign here. Who's going to beat him unless in comes your new boys for the future? But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I think. Well, look, you're probably right, but it wouldn't surprise me really if it went down to Roman. But I can see your point. Punk's there. He's every week. He's more there than I thought he was going to be when he returned.
yeah,
He's there every week. He's wrestling every week. I watched him live, and I'll talk a wee bit more about Raw and Belfast later on the show. But I watched him live. It was good stuff. So, look, you're probably right. So I think we agree where we think WrestleMania main events going roughly both of them, but we'll talk more about WrestleMania on next month's Hot Dice Will Take show because we're not there yet.
definitely.
Elimination Chamber. We're recording this on the 16th, so Monday Night Raw is tonight from our perspective. For you guys listening, it'll have been last night, so you guys will know who the next participants in the chamber matches are. We've obviously given a bit of a feeling where we think that's going.
Nick and James will be there. Don't worry. Nick and James will be in the Elimination Chamber. Spoiler if you're listening to this the next day and you didn't see us, but we were there. We got the victory. 1, 2, 3. We're over. We're in Elimination Chamber. We're going to Mania. James is not stopping me right now. I thought James was going to stop me and cut in. The caffeine is flowing through the veins.
Nick, I've just got a text from Paul.
Uh-oh.
He says you weren't meant to tell us that. We're out. We've just been future endeavored. You've just spoiled the WrestleMania main event.
We can't be out when we were never in to begin with.
Well, we were in, and then now we're out. He says you're. He just said. Well, he didn't say anything. He just sent me a picture of a shovel.
You didn't shake it all about. That was the problem.
No, we're not doing that. Not a chance. No, that is ridiculous. I can't believe you said that. Right, okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about our two sponsors. Nick, would you like to do one?
Yes. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by W Energy. If you're interested in W Energy, that's DUBBY. Use the code HOTTAGS 10%. The link will be in the description. Loads of flavors. If you want to be wired up like I am right now, and hopefully you're going to get cut off by someone, all being well, they might not cut you off, and they might let you just rant on what I'm doing right now. But W Energy, can you tell if I've had any or not? It's up to you to decide. Over to you, James.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the description. Use the code Hot Tags for 10% off. We really appreciate that. Our other sponsor is us. So you can get your mugs, the Hot Tag Cold Takes mug. If you would like these, we will put our email address in the description. We have a very primitive methodology at the minute, but it's for a very good reason. If you want a mug, please send us an email saying, I'm interested in the mug. Let us know where you're from and send us your phone number. Why do you want to send us your phone number? Because one of us will pick up the phone and give you a buzz and say, hi, hello, you wanted a mug. Let's have a chat. It's not just about business transaction. We'll take the charge there. We'll pay for it. We'll order your mug then and then on the phone. But we'll have a chat to you. We'll talk about the show. We'll talk about wrestling. We'll spend 5 minutes on the phone with you. Put in your email if you have a preference, whether you want me to phone you or Nick to phone you. Gives me and Nick an opportunity to see who's over. Yeah, it gives us a chance to see who's over. Let us know if you want us to call. But guys, what I will say is, drop us an email anyway if you want. If you've got any thoughts or feelings, give us a post in the comments or give us a like or whatever. But yeah, if you want to get your mug, they are £15 sterling. So I'm not sure what that converts to dollars or euros if you're in a different part of the world. So it's £15 for one of these plus postage and packaging, but we'll sort that out, that final price when we get you on the phone. So please, our email address will be in the description. And yeah, we'll give you a call. We'll be happy to do it. Talk to our loyal fan.
We're always listening.
With our eyes when we read emails.
Yeah, always listening with our eyes when we read emails. As you've probably figured out, I'm the weird one between me and James. James is the professional. I'm creative and, quotations,
Well,
whatever.
you
Air
can
brackets,
actually
air bubbles.
tell because I look like a secretary.
Yeah, and I look like Nick.
And I'm bald. So you look like Nick. Shit. Right, okay. Okay, folks, we're going to move on to a new segment that we've decided to bring to you guys now. This is it has two names, I suppose. One of the names is Anyway. The other name is Big News. Okay, because we want to bring you some big news. It's not all about WWE here on Hot Tie School Take. Sure, it's not, Nick.
It's certainly not. We wouldn't be that one company to do, or that one company calling us. Look at me calling us a company, James.
Company,
As if
PLC,
we've been on the
LTD.
map. Yeah.
Wow.
It's TCT. Look at that.
Yeah.
You hear
hashtag.
that?
We'll get that hashtag out, by the way. Okay. Nick, shall I do this month's big news stories?
I think it's for the best, James. I think it's for the best.
All right. Okay. So, and by the way, professional. We've changed the ticker at the bottom. It says the segment that we're on now. Look at that. Top news. Okay. Here we go with our big news from outside of the world of WWE, because obviously a lot of people in the internet wrestling community are very strongly passionate about non-WWE things, and we want to make sure that we cover that because they are just as important and just as engaging as everything that happens on Monday and Fridays and Wednesdays and Saturdays. Okay.
Anyway, James, you're dragging on a wee bit there.
Sorry. Okay. Big news. Nick, Tommaso Ciampa has went to AEW. Anyway, moving on from that, Festus, formerly Luke Gallows, has returned at Battle Riot and MLW. Anyway, Dave Meltzer has announced his end of year 2025 awards. Anyway, so that's the big news from the last month. We covered that well, and we care very, very deeply about a lot of them topics, as you can clearly tell. They're incredibly important, and everyone gives a damn.
Anyway,
actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back. I have a rant, and I am not happy.
Oh, boys, look what you've gone and done. You've let him have his wee moment with this Anyway segment, and now he's going to run with it. He's not happy. I'm going to have to listen to it. You're going to have to listen to it. James, I guess we're going to have to listen to you, aren't we?
You're listening to me.
Right, anyway, sorry.
Listen, the point of that segment is because no one really cares about that, right? Okay? Because we've said it, no one cares. And here's the thing. Tommaso Ciampa came in, won the TNT Championship. 11 days later, he drops the TNT Championship. Meltzer has given Tony Khan Booker of the Year, I don't know how many times, right, in his stupid awards, right, that no one cares about. And it's, you know what I mean? Look back at the history of AEW. Oh, WWE's doing nothing with Keith Lee. Bring him in to AEW and he'll be a star. Is he? What? Who else do we have? Remember Ty Dillinger, Sean Spears. Let's get him over 10. Wow, get him over to AEW. He's going to be a star. Did he? Was he? No. And now another one. Oh, WWE's not using Tommaso Ciampa. Wow. Get him over to AEW, and you've put the belt on him, and then you've taken it off him 10 days later, and you talk about how Tony Khan's the Booker of the Year. Meltzer's, oh, I love you, Tony. Wow, you're not Paul Levesque. I love you so much. Right? And that's his biggest asset, according to the internet wrestling community, is that he's not Paul Levesque. And I'm not done, because here's the thing. You imagine right now, I want you to imagine right now that, say, Darby Allin or Orange Cassidy or one. Yeah, I know. That's the point. One of those guys signed for WWE, right?
Lethal Pop.
Oh, no. Right, no, but imagine the internet wrestling community's reaction to this. If they signed for WWE, done the US title invitational, won the title, dropped it a week and a half later, everyone would be going, oh, he's burying them. He doesn't know how to book them. Triple H is an idiot. Oh, what's he done there? But, oh, it's all right. Oh, hold on a minute. Ciampa's done it as the greatest thing since sliced bread. Meltzer loves it so much he's rubbing his nipples every time he watches AEW. You know what I mean? And also, on Meltzer, the last 5 minutes of John Cena Gunther, where he tried to get out of the sleeper and they eventually tapped, was better than any match he considered for any of his match of the year stuff. I don't give a damn how many Mexican, Canadian, French destroyers you do, how many flip-flops off the top rope you've done. You know what I mean? Dropping from the rafters. I don't give a damn. That was better. Meltzer's an idiot. AW stands and their marks, and they don't know what they're talking about, and Tony Khan hasn't a clue. Thank you.
Meltzer. Dave Meltzer.
Meltzer. Sorry, that's my rant. And if you hate that rant, get in the comments and tell me you hate that rant, because I will not change my mind, and I will fight literally every single one of you, because I am right, and you have given me a forum with this show to tell the world why it's idiotic, and that's the end of that. That's all I've got.
I just want to touch on one thing here when you're sort of talking about AEW and whatever, and we're in the anyway phase, and not a phase. It's, it's our thing. That's a wrong word to put onto it there, so I apologize there, brother. MJF, what do you make of that, man?
I'll answer it this way.
AEW.
I'll answer it this way. If Dominic Mysterio was in AEW, he'd be their biggest star.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
that's what I make of MJF. MJF would come in and he would feud with Dom, and he would be in the Intercontinental title. He's not going to sell at WrestleMania. WrestleMania tickets aren't going to sell more because MJF's on it. MJF's doing good where he is. I can see that he's building something that maybe in the future a WWE might be interested in, but I think right now his level is probably upper mid card if he was in WWE. That's my feeling on him.
See, I'm also probably going to touch a nerve here with a few listeners. I've always sort of saw him as that, oh, look at me, I'm a mixture of The Miz meets Triple H, that's where I would hit the nail on the head with him. And I just think a lot of his stuff is slabbering rather than good heel work. Like, obviously, you want to be hated as a heel, but I think a lot of it is unnecessary slabbering about other brands to try and get himself over, or wrestlers from other companies.
Nick, he's not looked after by the organization. They don't know how to use what they think they have with him. They just let him go out and talk crap.
And I will touch on your Canadian Destroyer thing, and to everyone listening, let Nick make this perfectly clear. A Canadian Destroyer is not a transitional move. It is a finishing move. Petey Williams nailed that week in, week out at TNA, and he finished, boys. Not, oh, I'm going to hit you a Canadian Destroyer. You're going to pop up. Super kick. Oh, super kick. Oh, super kick. Oh, another Canadian Destroyer. Mexican Destroyer. Italian Destroyer. No, get out.
They lack the ability to sell. But you're right, Nick. They need to. There's no selling. Sorry, but don't want to go down that route, because I'm aware that a lot of our audience is the internet family, and they seem to have this. It's cool to hate WWE, and it's popular to like AEW because they do flips and stuff, and I get it. And what I find when I was at Raw Live a couple of weeks ago, when I watch it, they don't not have matches that have spots in it, but it's about placing them in the right place. You watch an AEW event, it's the same every single match. A Canadian Destroyer is a high impact finish that is capable of coming out of nowhere and hitting you. It's not something you do and you pop up, as you say, in a super kick or a crossbody or a drop kick or a clothesline, and then it's 5 seconds on the mat and you're back up again.
It's as common as a DDT now. It really is. I mean, and do we even see DDTs anymore?
Not really.
There you are. Yeah. It's replaced the DDT. I'm going to go out and say it. The Canadian Destroyer has replaced the DDT as a transitional move.
Yeah, I would agree. The DDT was, I remember back in the early 2000s or late 90s, The Rock would use the DDT, and that would be the moment where he would be getting, that would be his comeback. He would pop up out
Yeah,
of nowhere and hit the D, and then they would both be flat on their back, and they would reach a 9 count, and then they would maybe get up. So that was how, and even back then, it wasn't pop straight back up. It was Mick Foley's finisher, the DDT, the handlebar DDT
yeah,
was Mick Foley's finisher. So, to your point, the Canadian Destroyer when Petey Williams done it at TNA, I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
yeah.
And now it's every other match in AEW. I know Penta
It lo-
uses it, but
it loses its what's the what's the word I'm looking for, James?
allure, aura.
Yeah, like the special appeal to it from being, because it should come out of nowhere, like almost like an RKO, in a sense. Like Petey Williams could have hit you with that Canadian Destroyer at any moment, and it would have been ball game.
Game over. Do you
Whereas
think?
I saw,
Go ahead.
just quickly there, sorry, James, I remember seeing a match, and it's probably more frequent than enough, where can't remember who it was, but it was probably like Penta and the Young Bucks and whatever, whenever they were all floating about AEW together. And it was like one of them would do the Canadian Destroyer, stand up a bit groggy, but then the other one would counter back with their own Canadian Destroyer, and it would just be like a Canadian Destroyer off, essentially, like gunslinging. And you're like, what is going on here? Like,
Well, look
and
at the
see,
what's that meant to be, right? It's meant to be that I have slammed the top of your skull into the ground with such force, but it's okay because you're superhuman. Even
yeah,
though you're about that thin in the neck, you're superhuman and you're fine. You can stand up and take it 2 more times. Just it doesn't make sense.
this is why the wife shouted at us, James, That's why the wife
Yeah,
shouted at us.
well, listen, they need to know. These are things. My wife says, "Oh, you want to hear what happened at work today?" I says, "Well, do you want to hear about the Canadian destroyers?" And then she doesn't get to talk. So there you go. That's about that's the end of that. Right. So we move on from our big news, our anyways this week, and so we move on to something new.
Yes. Little
Okay.
something that I've been working on in my head. What would happen if, for a career crossroads,
Yeah,
essentially, per
we may
se?
change
And
the
now
name
this
of this
is
one.
this is more along the lines of, now, to all the listeners, I didn't really piece this together too much in my head as a story for you. It's more of I want to back and forward to James here, and I want to see who can get wound up first or who can panic first. It's probably going to be me, even though it was my idea. So I'm thinking, The Undertaker. What if The Undertaker, obviously he's retired now, RIP, whatever. He now has moved on to daycare. He sent the CV or the resume, wherever you're listening from, and he wants a job in daycare. He rocks up and he's, what would you say would be the perfect interview for The Undertaker? Like, say you walk in, I mean, already for, for fire safety, he's already got Kane, if he needs for fire safety.
I want to be daycare manager and bring a fire safety officer. It's my brother Kane.
He's if you want to talk about his accidents at work, Mick Foley can attest to it. His ability to handle said problems at work. There's been never an accident or a problem that can't be solved by the
I
Undertaker.
just
He brings his own his own smoke screen or whatever you want, smoke
comes
machine. I'm panicking now, James, and even I told you I would panic first.
comes with his own smoke and purple lighting. Just imagine though, imagine the scenario, right? You're the interviewer, right? And you've got like a list of candidates. Okay, we've got Claire Johnson, we've got Paula Williamson, we've got the Undertaker. Okay, and you go out to the interview room and you can just see in the side of the room there's Claire and Paul are sitting there, and then you look over the other side and there's just smoke and purple lights, and it's just the Undertaker sitting there with waiting with a CV in his hand. And the fern beside him has died, waiting to go in.
The light above him is constantly flickering.
And Mr. Taker, what is your view on nap time? They can rest in peace.
I mean, the
You
man
know,
had a 21-year streak of attendance. So I
yeah,
mean,
well, a big lad done 21 years, and then that last year he got close to retirement. And that was that. The Undertaker planned to be daycare manager. Like the kids wouldn't muck around. Discipline would be superb.
the urn would be
Discipline
full
would
of
be
dummies and baby wipes.
the urn is just the ashes. The ash has been replaced by dummies, and he just holds the urn over, and they just take a dummy out of the urn.
Yeah.
And the
'Cause whenever
ghost
the kids
escape.
are going nuts, whenever they're going nuts screaming, and he's just like, "Oh, the urn, the power's in the urn," and then he pulls out the dummy.
It's the power of the dummy.
And I'll tell you one thing: he will never ever break character if he steps on a Lego, James.
The
Not
Legos
once
getting
did that man break character going through
hit.
security in airports for years.
Performing old school off a radiator on the side of the hall. Oh, what would happen if Undertaker was your daycare manager? Imagine as a parent going in there and you want to you want to have a review about how little Sophie's been getting on in daycare, and you go into the office and you sit down in the chair, and across from you swivels around from a seat at the computer, and it's the Undertaker full costume, hair soaking wet hair, purple or mascara on, trying to give you a review how the little one's getting on in nursery. Yeah.
From dead man to not man.
From dead, from dead man to not man. I
But
think
here
yeah.
is the kicker right here. If
Oh.
you can't collect your kid from the Undertaker's nursery, daycare, whatever, I don't know why I'm calling it the Undertaker's. He's just taken over now, so he runs it now entirely.
He's in charge.
He changed the name and everything, so he has.
Oh,
Right.
Undertakers.
He will. He can also do childcare delivery. I mean, that's probably wrong word to go about it right now. If you're listening, I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be careful. This isn't anything unusual. This isn't part of any shenanigans that's ongoing in the world right now that
You're
we'll
gonna have
not
to get
talk
there.
about.
You're gonna have to get there.
American Badass Inc. or American Badass Limited is his childcare delivery service where he will drop off a child on the motorbike as the American Badass. And as the little child, now this one, you'll not be able to see this if you're listening to us on Spotify or whatever, but you know when he does the little pat on the chest and throws the arm up? That's what he does whenever he's leaving them off at the door. You know, they're like, Undertaker! You know, they love him now, so do they, and he's just like,
Uncle
see you tomorrow,
Andy.
little brother. See you
Uncle
tomorrow, man.
Andy. I love you, Uncle Andy. Oh, Undertaker as your daycare manager. Oh, that would be brilliant. We should do some more of these. I would like to know. I would like to know what Triple H would like if he wanted to get a job as a secretary somewhere, maybe.
Yeah.
Some weird things. Let us know in the comments if you think there's some weird jobs that some of wrestlers in their full gimmick. It would be interesting to see what they would do outside of the world. But Undertaker as your daycare manager just walks around in a cloud of smoke and just looks at children, rolls the eyes, and they sit down and behave. They sit down and behave. Okay, Nick. Well, listen, we've had a bit of fun. We've had a bit of laugh. We have a couple more things to talk about before we finish this month's show. I want to ask you, as we check in, as we enter the final third of this month's show, are you enjoying yourself on episode 1, season 1?
I am having a great time. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous coming into this, but now that we're here and we're doing it, and the Spanish is flowing, and I can't wait until our listeners understand what we mean by Spanish. Like you will, we're doing it right now. I'm struggling too much caffeine. Episode by episode, you will know the further history of Spanish. It's nothing to do with the country really or the language. I mean, language in a sense, or the people. We're not putting anyone down here or discriminating. We're just hurting ourselves more than anything. For your enjoyment.
The best hint we can give is that we don't speak Spanish, but we
live
do.
It.
We live it. We live the Spanish. Yeah. So I think, guys, and the point of us wanting this is, me and Nick would always chat and we would just talk crap and have a bit of a laugh, have a bit of banter. And I thought, you know what, if we're enjoying it, maybe someone else will. So we thought we'd bring it to you. Here. So we had some anyways. We made fun of AEW, rightly so, because we should. Undertaker's your daycare manager. Take that one away with you at home. Kane is head of fire safety, and there's only 3 burns that year, so it's okay. He's doing well. He's improved. His parents unfortunately succumbed, but he learned from that environment. He takes the mask off to remind children of what. Do you remember when he took the mask off? The charcoal feed. Do you remember seeing that?
I do.
It was funny how. What's that?
No, I was just going to talk nonsense. You go ahead.
No, but it's funny because they hadn't come out that episode and he had sort of the hair wavy and then all the charcoal in the eyes, and then the next week he just was normal skin with towel over his head.
It's because he bought himself flowers and held his own hand.
Here, listen. Miley Cyrus, he can look after himself. You know what I mean? He listens. He listens a lot. You know.
It's
But why
tempting.
didn't he
I
just?
just wanted
We're running
tempting.
out.
I just wanted to show the
Just get a
exclusive
plug.
plug
Just
again.
get it in
Look
there.
at
Get
that.
in there. If you're listening
That's
right now, get across to YouTube and you can see the mugs. The mugs are beautiful. They are actually really nice. I can't believe my balding, ugly face is on one. They are really nice. Okay, Nick. There's a topic I want to talk about, and it's relevant to what's going on right now. As you well, obviously you know because I sent the videos. Anyone who's been watching our socials will see that we put videos on our socials as well. I attended Raw in Belfast a couple of weeks ago. I didn't get my ticket to Raw in Belfast until I want to say maybe 3-4 weeks max before the show, right? And I'm going to tell you the reason why. They bring a house show to the SSA Arena in Belfast every single year, and I always go. 3 years ago, my ticket for mid arena, mid tier, looking over the ring was about £60, right? And you got a 2 hour show. The main event was Cody Rhodes defend the championship against someone. Obviously, he's not going to lose, but that was it. Rinse and repeat the year after. Again, similar event. The ticket prices were up slightly because it sold it out the year before, so you expected to go up. I think maybe the ticket was maybe closer to about £80. And then the fast forward a year, and the tickets came out, but they announced that CM Punk would be defending the world title, or would be challenging Gunther for the world title, rather, and also Cody would be defending his championship in a cage match in the main event. So you had 2 title matches and you had a cage match, and then the tickets were for roughly the same ticket that I got the last 2 years. Was about £120 British pounds, right? And I said to my wife, I said, this is because I reckon because of teases with post-show promos, they're testing to see if they can sell the arena at a bigger price for a TV show. They ended that show with Cody saying, we should bring Raw here, we should bring a TV show, and the crowd popped, brilliant. Then they announced it, and I said, right, the tickets are definitely going to be up. I was thinking maybe £160 maybe for that same ticket, up a little bit. When the tickets came out, that bottom third ticket price, bottom third tickets was £140 for one of the lower area seats. For the ticket that I had usually got most years, which is always sitting over the ring. I had 1 year where I was by the entrance ramp and I got to high five everybody. That ticket was about £360. That is how much
yeah.
they went up for an episode of Raw. If you wanted to sit ringside in Belfast for Raw, it was about £1,200. Astronomically increased, and then they didn't sell it, and I said I'm not justifying, I'm not paying them tickets, that price for the tickets. And then they got a few weeks out, my ticket was then the one I got was reduced to £140, and they gave everyone free upgrades. So if you had bought £340 ticket, you ended up sitting in the £800 seat later on. So they've done that. And then you look now at what's happening at WrestleMania. You know, there's 10,000 at the minute. As I was looking at this last night, they're about 10,000 tickets per night short of where they were this time last year for Las Vegas. Admittedly, they're in the same city 2 years in a row, but the cheapest sort of standard ticket is $270, which is probably going to be right up in the rafters, right at the very, very top. So are they, and I mean, ever since they announced Punk and Reigns, they've only sold about 1,300, maybe 1,500 by now tickets since they've announced that main event. So, I mean, are they getting cocky? Is it just, are they pushing it too far, the ticket prices?
I think they're just sort of like in their own minds, they're looking at it like, look at the stars we have. This is where we can go. We can take this further. You know, because fans will pay it. Okay, they're slightly down in a sense from where they were, but you know, when you look at like say a week out, 2 weeks out, that'll jump up massively. Like I don't think they'll have an issue selling it. It's the issue that I have is as dear as they are now, next year's going to be worse because it's Saudi, and nobody's going to want to go. I don't think, and this is, you know, in my own opinion. You may agree, you may not agree, but I didn't think Saudi Arabia deserved the Royal Rumble. I know we're not, as we said, we weren't going to talk too much about it, but like in
It
terms
was
of
poor.
crowd reaction, it was
It was
very,
poor.
very poor. I really enjoyed personally myself the men's Rumble match. I thought it was great, for what it was, but I didn't think the fans cared enough. I don't think they deserved that Rumble in itself. I think if it was anywhere else, even just in the States or whatever, it would have been a better reaction than what it did get. And that's what like my worry is now for next year at WrestleMania. Are we going to have the same? You know, it, it could potentially be the worst WrestleMania of all time, even though the card could look fantastic. You know, with the talent that we have now. I just think it's because of the money, the area. You know, there'd be a lot of fear. I don't know. That's just me sort of
I
going
think
off on a wee tangent a bit.
I think they will sell it, but they'll sell it because all the Saudi people in that area that are affluent and wealthy are going to pay for it, right? So they'll sell it to
Yeah,
that degree. They only maybe need to sell. There's maybe only going to be 10 to 20% of that. The tickets are going to go to people who want to travel to go and do it. So I
yeah,
think in that sense they'll sell it, and the tickets will be very expensive over there. But the other
yeah,
side of it as well, from a WWE perspective, that event is going to be a success, regardless of what we see on screen, regardless of what actually happens in the ring. It's going to be a success because they're going to make millions and millions and millions and millions from that event. They're going to license it. They're going to sell everything. Saudi Arabia are going to pour everything behind it. Do you know what? To your point about it being a good or a bad WrestleMania, regardless of the card, I think your point is probably accurate. But I do think you've probably more of a chance to see some more surprise appearances because they'll pay for it. With that
yeah,
being said, I half expected it at the Rumble and we didn't get it. So
yeah,
maybe not, but I can see them going all out and putting every single penny behind it. But from a fan's perspective, to me, the only good thing about the event being in Saudi Arabia is that because we're from the UK, it's on at tea time and we can watch it the same way that the Americans do. Other than that,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not excited for it. The arena, I get what they're trying to do with the lovely light sticks beside all the seats. They could light up the arena, look nice, but when you're watching it TV, it looked empty. You want to see
yeah,
the crowd pop, and you want to see the signs, you want to see people getting excited. And I don't think that market reacts the same
yeah,
as the Western market does.
yeah. No, 100%. I would agree.
And it takes the crowd is such a big part. I love listening to the crowd when I'm watching the shows. I mean,
Yeah,
again, not to harken back to the Belfast, but there was a guy with you could still kind of hear it on the broadcast because they couldn't mute it, but there was a guy shouting "effing right" the AJ Styles during it, and he got stuck in, and then the crowd was chanting "You're banned in Japan" to Logan Paul.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but you're not going to get that from the Saudi crowd. The Saudi crowd's not going to give you any of that. I just I,
yeah,
I, I just think it's not going to be as good, you know.
yeah. An atmosphere makes it like it can really sell it more. So it can. I mean, you look at the Attitude Era. I mean, matches compared to the matches now. I don't want to take too much time on this. This could be something we can talk about at another time. Um, Matches were what about 10 minutes max in the
Mm,
Attitude Era, roughly,
yeah.
give or take, and it was just two boys would just go ham or whatever at one another, and that was it. And everything that you needed to know was done in that 10 minutes, and the crowd were loving it. They were, they felt the energy from it, and they weren't bored. They weren't tired after like 20, 30 minute match for no reason.
High
I
octane,
don't.
like it. Yeah.
A match doesn't need to be 30 minutes. Well, I mean, depending on the match, I suppose. Like if it's an Iron Man or if you're really telling the story, but too many matches now repeat themselves. There's sequences and scenarios throughout the match. Um,
That goes back to the point we made earlier when we done the little anyway segment when we talked about AEW. I mean, I think there's a perception out there you have to have 20 minutes, high spot, high spot, high spot. I think if the story dictates a 10-minute match, then that's what a story dictates. And I'll reference a Chris Jericho story he told when he was out in his own. I don't know if you've probably heard this one at some point where he talked about a high level feud that he was having. I think it was CM Punk, and they were feuding for the title, and they were having this really really aggressive feud where Jericho was calling out him being straight edge. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It might have been someone else he's feuding with, but I remember the story, and they wanted them to go into their blow off match for the title to be 20-30 minutes, and Vince said no, 2 minute DQ. And
hmm,
Jericho said, but why? I want to have this big match. We've been going for months. And Vince said, you've just spent the last 3 months berating this man, slobbering about his family, slobbering about his life, and you want him just to go and do a collar and elbow tie up and lock up with you? No.
hmm,
The storyline dictates that he's just going to empty you and it's going to be a DQ. So then they put
yeah,
stipulations in where that couldn't be allowed. But the point that you're trying to make is it doesn't have to be a 20-minute spot fest to get the energy and the matches out. But here
hmm,
we've sort of digressed a little bit on that topic, I think.
we did.
We did. For the record, by the way, they have announced a 25% discount on WrestleMania tickets. So if you bought your tickets last month and spent through the nose, haha, unlucky. You should have bought them now. I haven't bought any tickets on that one. Okay, Nick. Before we get to close, I think you made a reference to this. You want to talk a little bit about the future, and they've brought some future guys in at the minute. I think this is a good time to talk about them. Who do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think it's always an issue whenever you get the older guys who are on their way out and you start worrying, going, where's WWE going to take this? What guys are going to step up? And I think now there's maybe 3 or 4 guys that you could give the baton with and they're going to run. You've got Javon Evans, you've Obafemi and Trick Williams. They would be three right now that I think have star written all over them. That I think WWE's in a very good place. Again, in the female division, there you've got Sol Ruka. She's the only one jumping out at me, to be fair.
Yeah.
With that, but in terms of the men, I
Jordan
think
Grace?
you're looking at those three.
Jordan Grace,
Jordan
maybe?
Grace, yeah, Jordan Grace, yeah, she'd be another one.
Maxine Dupree,
She's
not for me, by the way. Just want to get that out there. Not for me.
it's a strange one, so it is. I mean, if I'm going with for what she's gone to,
By the way, I saw her
um,
live, and she is the tallest person I've ever seen in my life. Just I want to. She
okay,
looks tall on TV. In person, she's huge. Sorry.
well,
Anyway,
Gigantor, okay.
yeah, carry on.
Um,
She could take on
um,
Undertaker in the daycare as Jan Gonzalez dressed up in that thing from WrestleMania, the muscle suit. Sorry. But yeah, look, I agree. The three guys that brought forward, I think the important thing is what they do with them now, because Obafemi, they're clearly preparing for some sort of main event area because he's so big. Javon and Trick are going to go into that sort of mid card. My worry
yeah,
is that they go similar direction to Carmelo Hayes. Now he's done okay, but I think he's almost at a ceiling now, sort of that mid card
yeah.
right around the US title. I can't see him going any higher. So I like Javon Evans. I think he's exciting. Feuding with, well, he was feuding with El Grande, but now Chad Gable's back. I mean, the real El Grande's back. So I
I
guess
think
that
he's the future as well. He could be the future of WWE.
I like him. I think Chad Gable's got a bit of future in him. I do. I think he's
No,
good.
not Chad Gable. He's out injured. I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, the real El Grande. Sorry, shit.
Yeah, the
Sorry.
original.
Sorry, him and Mr. Iguana are going to main event WrestleMania this year. I can just feel it.
But Obafemi, though, I just want to talk about him briefly. I think he's main event written all over him. But what I would do, and it's something that we've spoke about before, and it works so well for Brock Lesnar. You give him that special attraction, that star feature treatment. You know, every time Brock Lesnar appeared on the show, something massive happened. You knew whenever he's there, something big's going to happen,
Yeah.
something monumental. There's going to be a change in the waves essentially anytime Brock's there. And I think you need to do the same with Obafemi. Yes, he marches out to the ring and he looks class when he's doing it. I've tried doing it, as you've seen on TikTok. Not to the same effect as Obafemi.
Okay.
But I would give him that star attraction feature, that treatment. Trick, I think Trick could be a main eventer. Myself, I think he has the gift of the gab. Javon, I think he's mid card. I do, but he's still
That's
got
good.
star written all over him.
Yeah, but it's to the point I say when you watch a WWE event, you need the right pieces in the right areas, and Javon fills that
Yeah.
sort of area on the card. I think Trick Williams could be. Trick Williams, look, I could be well wrong here, but he reminds me a little bit, not very much, a little bit of how MVP was when he came in way back when. This sort of, look at me, big bravado. Not saying they're the same character, but it was this very, this opinion of themselves, I suppose. Your point about Obafemi is good. What I noticed before they debuted him is they always ran the Obafemi package right before the main event, or it was between the entrances of the main event, so they knew that all the eyes were watching. So you'd have CM Punk enter, for example. They done it for the Raw in Belfast when Punk and Finn were wrestling. You had Punk enter, then they ran the Obafemi package when they came back from the break. Then it was Finn's entrance. So it was, they were making sure the main event eyes were looking at this man. And to your point, here you wonder is Brock Lesnar back? Is he going to get a featured? Is he going to get a featured match at WrestleMania? You don't know.
Well, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a rumor that Brock Lesnar and LA Knight could be having a WrestleMania match. I don't see it. I don't know how that would. I don't know how you'd even book that, to be honest.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I was being LA Knight, I guess. I didn't know how you'd book that either. You eliminated me during JS presentments. Yeah. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I don't know where you put Obafemi, but I think you're right. He has to win. Don't need to beat him. I think he has the chance to go and push on. But they are in a position where they're building a couple of main event guys, and you have to keep them in that main event theme, but keep them away from the other main event guys until you're ready to have that payoff. So the same with Gunther. I'm not sure where they're going to go with Gunther this year. To your point, if they've got someone to retire, they should do that. If not, I don't know where they're going, but he's at that level,
Yeah, Gunther's done it his own way, essentially. Without being pushed into it, he's sort of captured it himself by having the luck of being able to retire people and people wanting to retire. It's just worked well for him.
Listen, time is everything, right? But yeah, I agree with your point there on the new guys. I think Obafemi's got a great future ahead of him.
100%.
Okay, Nick, my friend, I think that's everything we wanted to talk about this week. I think that this month, sorry, we've got this month's show is officially in the bag. To those who have hung on to the end, thank you very much. Whether it's one of you or 10 of you, hopefully that the number of people that are listening at this part of the show continues to grow. Look, going forward, we will continue to refine the different bits and pieces that we have in the show. We'll improve our presentation. We'll improve what we talk about. We try to talk sense, but at the same time, we try not to. Please give us a like, a comment. Please subscribe across our platforms. A review if possible. If you think things were good, you think things were bad, let us know. Drop us a comment, drop us an email. You want a mug, and we're going to continue to try and bring comedy. Hopefully, you laughed at least once during the show. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, I think if you're listening to us, if you're in the car driving to work, if we're in your ear holes, then something good's happening, because we are funny guys, to each other. But again, like James said, if we've made you laugh at least once, then we've done our job. We're happy. But if not, we're also happy because we've popped each other throughout this conversation, and that's all it is. It's just two friends about to change the game.
That's it. And let our theme tune's class, by the way, and I give you credit for that. But like we say, me and you just want to have a bit of fun with each other. If other people like it, then great. Do you mind if I end the show with the long form of the greatest clip in 2026 wrestling? I think we need to end the show with it. You'll know when I hear it. Guys, thank you all very much for listening, watching. Please, as I say, interact with us. Me and Nick just want to have fun. So fingers crossed we'll continue to do that. We'll stick with it for a while anyway and see what happens. But we'll see you in a month's time, guys. That's all from me. Nick, have the final word.
From me. Yeah, we'll see you next month.
Looking forward to it.
Besides, I heard that it was going to be a you-know-what measuring contest. Well, they're both glad I'm not in it because I didn't get the nickname Raheem for no reason.